we're having abortions at a crazy rate. Therefore, we're not populating. We're at 12%. We're probably at 11% of the population. If there are 60% of the population, when we show up to vote, what kind of power you think we're going to have?
I think that there are a number of things systematically that are set up so that we as Black people have a harder time succeeding economically, and it's embedded and bred into our culture. And so when we talk about fatherlessness, you know, that's a byproduct of a number of different issues. But if we had the economic power that many of our counterparts enjoy in this country, some of the issues that we face, we wouldn't have those.
Officer Tatum, you want to weigh in on this topic?
Yeah, I think that a lot of our issue comes from right here in the mind. And I would say that leads from the lack of education. The reason we vote the way we do is from a lack of education. The reason that we think, and no disrespect to the young lady, that we think that somehow our issues are external is a lack of education and knowledge.
Bruh, break it down, bruh. Break it down, bruh.
Honestly believe that we are the arbiters of our success. If we have problems in the inner city communities, we have to look in the mirror first. We have to look in the mirror first. Because on this panel, I highly doubt that anybody on this panel is affected by systemic issues and the systematic oppression.
That's not true.
I said I highly doubt that none of us are affected. I'm a successful Black man. I got an education. I own my own business. I employ Black people in my business, and I pay them very well. Why? Because they're qualified. They do what it takes. They come, they interview, and I give them opportunities, and that beget other opportunities. So I honestly think that the person in the mirror is the biggest, problem or success factor in the Black community.
That's absolutely correct, 1000%. I was just now covering an affirmative action video not too long ago, and just to be quick so that I can get back to this conversation, because it gets crazy. Well, it gets gooder and gooder, as Pastor Jordan used to say, Reverend Dr. Wayne Jordan, Alton Wayne Jordan, Wayne Alton Jordan used to say. But I believe that it's all about our discipline, us quieting the noise around us and getting to the business. Like, I used to go to school with and live in the same neighborhoods, rough neighborhoods, and there would be an honor roll student, there will be a teacher's pet, there will be someone who gets skipped, there will be someone who tests out the roof, and they live in the same neighborhood community, and they also don't have their mom and dad in the same household. So when we continue to put this on ourselves and act as if that's the reason why we're underperforming, that in and of itself is called victimhood. We are giving ourselves an out so we not have to compete on our own merit and have to lean on the help of the federal government or other laws that was put into place because we complained enough.
The other day, I was reflecting on my grandmother, and I was raised by my grandmother, my maternal grandmother. Both my parents were incarcerated on the federal level when I was approximately 5 years old. And I thought about something. My grandmother told me one day, she said, "Do you know that you are the first generation that was born free in this country?" I said, "What do you mean by that?" She said, "You were born in late 1970s. And I said, "Yeah." She said, "Well, when I was born one generation from a descendant of a slave. When your mother was born, she was born in Jim Crow. And so I was the first generation that was born fully free in this country." Why am I bringing that up? I'm glad that you asked that question. The reason why I'm bringing that up is because we are not too far removed from the institutional racism as it relates to signs, as it relates to legislation, etc., that keeps people like you, like me, like her, and like you, successful brother, in bondage.
Can I jump in on this real quick?
Brandon, before you do.
And let me say this, even though you were the first generation, look at how much you've been able to accomplish. How much barriers do you have if you've been able to accomplish so much and you're only the first generation?
Well, let me tell you about my barriers.
So
as a person.
Now, here's one thing see, when we start diving in that victim Olympics pool, we start pulling out some things. I used to have one arm, now I got two. I used to have one dad, now I got none. I used to have, I didn't have a mother or father in the house. Both of them was locked up. Neither one of them had feet nor toes. They had toes nor feet. We can do that all day long. All of us can do that. But guess what? So can the people who are coming over here from other countries and can't speak our language and are still able to learn and test high and perform high and get opportunities, so much so that they can bring more of their family members from the countries where they're from, and they learn the language and they start to excel. Come on, all of the excuses are holding us back. Whoa. Let me tell you all the things that's holding me back. Nah, don't. That's between you and your God. And once y'all get over that, then you will continue to move forward. Just because you haven't forgotten don't mean that you got to dwell on that and put that same pressure on someone else, because in your mind, they too are mentally handicapped.
As a person with a felony conviction,
let me just.
I can tell you about my barriers. There are more than 46,000 collateral consequences to one felony conviction in the United States of America.
What did you do? What did you do to go to jail?
I was involved in criminal enterprising.
There you go. So
that was on you.
Let me just say this. The reason that I say that is because it's the same person in the mirror. The justice system, the white man, systemic racism, none of that had anything to do with the reason why you went to prison.
Nah, I didn't get prosecuted by a white man. I got prosecuted by a black prosecutor.
Listen to what he's saying, bruh. Listen to what he's saying, bruh. Listen, he's saying that's your fault. No one else's. There's nothing else that you can blame that on but yourself, that you got into some criminal enterprise.
I got prosecuted by I got sentenced by a black judge. This wasn't about white. This wasn't about black.
Hang on one second.
The system in and of itself, I'm telling you, the reason why you went there and I didn't is because decisions that you made and I didn't make those decisions. And the reason why you're successful now are the positive decisions that you made learning from the experience. Those are decisions that you're making are the arbiters of your success. It has nothing to do with these external factors. You were able to get out of prison.
Bruh, he is tearing your ass up. He is tearing you up, bruh. Bruh.
Have the experience, and now you're able to free other people. In America, you can do that. In other places, I can't attest to that. But America forced that opportunity. There's no systems that have stopped you, have it? I think that is damaging now by having diversity, inclusion, and all that stuff. What it does is it separates us.
What?
It really does. It separates us. Because
you don't want people to know about our culture?
I am an entrepreneur. I hire people for a living. I do not discriminate against individuals who come to my workforce. If I have qualified black people, I'm going to hire qualified black people. What we should be focusing on is having them qualified instead of just giving them a handout, because we need to reach numbers. We need young, this is the problem that's happening. I'm gonna shut up, I promise. The problem that's happening is that we're not focused on making sure these young people are successful coming out of school. They're prepared to go to work. They're prepared to interview. We're not prepping them there. We wanna go on the back end and say, well, I have 10 white people, I need 3 more black people, I'm just gonna hire them because we need to meet a quota. That's not the way to do it, because they come, they're unprepared, and they're not gonna be successful. What we need to do is help them on the back end, make sure they're successful and prepared, send them out in the workforce where they are competitive.
Preach, man.
And therefore they can compete just like everybody else.
Where is the collection plate, bro? Man, this dude, man, listen, Officer Tatum, I always knew that you had it in you, bro. Pause. All right? I always knew that you can do it. But bruh, you getting busy, man. Man, what?
I was raised by a single parent, and I feel that I'm considered one of the people that is successful when we talk about, what success looks like within the black community. But even still, even being raised, in a single family, being educated, having a successful job, a successful career, I still understand that there are systematic things in this country that are against me. And I don't care how people look at that. I look in the banking. I talked about that earlier. The ability to...
No, for you. For
me. I'm saying banking, yes, specifically. So just to give you a real life example, in 2020, during the pandemic, I went to my bank. I have good credit. I've paid back my student loans. I, don't have any outstanding debt to income ratio, and I could not get $60,000. And I asked my bank, why was I denied a person who has A1 credit, don't have any student loans, I have, 2 or 3 properties. Why am I being denied a $60,000 personal loan? And you know what?
They said because you're black?
They didn't give me an answer.
But how do you know it's because you're black?
What I'm saying is,
wait
wait a minute, there are no
How do you know
indicators.
it's because of the color of your skin?
What I'm saying is, there are no indicators for why I should have been denied.
So she surmised that it's because I'm black. And even if that institution denied you of a loan, you go somewhere else and get one. A lot of people don't like Jesse Lee Peterson because he's so sharp with his tongue. He's just like, if they're not treating you there, if they're not going to feed you there, and that restaurant is treating you unfairly, don't eat there. If that company don't want you wearing their clothes, don't wear them. If that school don't want you learning in their institution, don't go there. Go somewhere else. Go somewhere where you're appreciated and not tolerated. If you believe that you're being discriminated against, then go somewhere else. It's that simple and plain. For some strange reason, we feel like we have a right for somebody to do business with us, and we do not. Newsflash. But sometimes we go straight into our victim bag. We got to think of the reason why. I'm perfect. What else could it be? It must be because I'm black. It's because I'm black. It got to be. What else could it be?
That's what I'm saying.
Do you know that any white people have been denied with the same qualification?
I don't know, because I didn't go out and poll white people.
There's no way.
This isn't a conversation about white people. This is a conversation about me.
No, but
You're
there's no way.
acknowledging a hindrance. You're
you're
acknowledging a hindrance to your...
Yes, I'm acknowledging a hindrance in what you're considering to be a successful person, doing what they're supposed to do, going out and working, having good credit, paying their bills on time, and still being denied with no reason given.
As a black
That's
person.
As a
You're
black
saying
person.
that happened to you
I'm
because
saying that
you were
happened
black.
to me. What I'm saying is,
It
yes,
happened.
I'm saying it happened.
Okay.
And I happen to be black, yeah.
And she came up with that all on her own.
Yes.
Alea, I want to talk about
But
immigration.
wait a minute, I'd like Brandon to respond to that. I see you sat back, you're frustrated.
Listen,
I'd like you to respond.
I will.
Yeah.
You got 2 minutes.
2 minutes. All I want to say is that I can fight with you if we have evidence. If you went to the bank and you have evidence that they've been giving loans to people with equal qualification as you have, and because you being black, they denied you, let's go to the bank and let's show up. Let's pull up. Okay. But the thing is that it's not fair to make that determination without unequivocal facts, because what it does is it generates this idea that it's because you're black. There may be something or that you could have changed on you when you made the application or not that could have caused you to get the loan. There are some educational points there that could have been effective, but you can't just say it's your race, because then you're telling the next young person and the next young black person, and before you know it, they don't even give it a try when you're saying something that's not verified.
No, I'm not saying.
Facts. Another mic drop for the man. Young lady, come on, you got to accept what he's saying. Come on.
I'm going to let you get your applause. What I'm saying is the same grace that you're asking me to give the bank and saying that maybe it didn't happen because I'm black, I'm asking for that same grace to say that that absolutely could have been a qualifier in their decision to deny me, but they didn't give me that information. And so the same way that I'm making an example that we don't know. So
It could have been
just as you're
because you were
saying,
female.
It
could have been because of anything.
You don't
It
know.
could have been
I don't know
it
because
could have
you
been
know what? They didn't give me the information.
They could have been jealous of you. They see you
It
come
could have
in
been
looking
anything.
nice. They hating on you. It could have been hating. It could have been because you're a
Hates
woman.
do
It could have
not
been
like
because
pink.
who
I
knows?
have
What I'm
the facts
also
on
just
that.
asking you to consider is that it also could have been my race. That's
I-
all I'm asking
I
you
do.
to consider.
I know,
I'm
I do.
asking you to consider
got 2
that as
minutes.
well.
I think that's fair to consider that, and I will, but we cannot make the determination, right? But we'll consider it. You know, in this country, if black people, if we're caring about what our efforts are and our effectiveness in this country is, if we get overtaken by people who shouldn't even be in this country, that didn't fight to belong in this country, didn't die, didn't shed blood, wasn't in the Civil War, wasn't a slave in this country, the law wasn't even prepared for people to come here illegally. It was prepared for black people who belong here. If we get overtaken by them, then what are we gonna do? We're having abortions at a crazy rate. Therefore, we're not populating. We're at 12%. We're probably at 11% of the population. If there are 60% of the population, when we show up to vote, what kind of power you think we're going to have?
Preach, 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 preach. God, I want to cuss, bro, but I'm not going to cuss. He preaching, bro.
And they came here illegally. Their ancestors were not here. They didn't go through the struggle. They didn't go through Jim Crow. You got to get in line and do it the right way. And you're not going to thwart opportunities for black people in this country. And if anybody cares about opportunities for black people, and they're saying they're not afforded these opportunities, they're getting taken away from them, this is one of the points that we should all be in unison on, is saying that these illegal people who come in this country that take opportunities from Americans is wrong.
Bruh, he is killing y'all, man. He's killing. Bruh.
Well, the way that I feel about this country is we're all illegals in this country.
No, we're not.
What? Illegals? You're all illegals? What? The hell is she talking about? Who is this young lady? I don't want to disrespect you, sister. I really don't. But what the hell are you talking about?
Yes, we are. No. First of all, I knew it'd be controversial. I knew it was going to be controversial to say that.
It's not controversial. It's just ignorant. It's not controversial. It's just ignorant.
I do believe that black people built this country for free. I do believe that. But I also believe that we're all on stolen land. This is not our country. It's not. And so, because
whose country?
Native Americans.
Who? Which one? Which tribe?
I don't know which tribe.
The one who killed them to get them to kill the other ones to kill the other ones.
Listen, listen, let me say this. Do I believe that America has an immigration problem? Absolutely. I'll be the first person to say that. I don't believe any president, Democrat, Republican, has gotten it right. I think it's really a real challenge in this country.
Do you believe, Crystal, that our immigration problem is disenfranchising blacks?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't think it is.
All right.
I reject the premise that quote unquote illegal immigrants are taking jobs away from black people. I reject that premise.
Okay, we're gonna go to solutions.
Wow.
How do we do that? Stop focusing on the past. Stop blaming other people, and let's come together. Let me finish.
The past is a precursor.
Let's start making sure that we hit these pillars as a community. Let's start marrying these young women and staying at home and taking care of your responsibilities as a man.
Come on, bruh. God, he ain't got to say anything else. Let's start marrying these young women and staying at home and taking care of your staying home and taking care of your daggone responsibilities. God dang it. Oh, come on, bruh. Come on, bruh.
Let's start building wealth together. Instead of going and banking with Chase Bank, somebody go bank with a black bank. For all these people who have all this money together, let's how we can't come together and start pursuing black excellence. Instead of supporting illegal immigration, let's support our people right here in New York. Instead of putting these people up in a hotel, paying for them to eat, giving them access, giving them free medical insurance, let's do that for the black people who are struggling right here in New York.